My beloved child, why have you gone quiet on me? I see your heart, I know your struggles, and yet I wait every moment, every day for the sound of your voice to reach me again. I am not surprised by your silence, nor am I angry. But I am longing. I am longing for the moments when you would whisper to me in your joy or cry out to me in your sorrow. I miss those conversations, even the ones filled with confusion and questions. You know what your voice means to me. It is not just sound, it is the expression of your soul. It's how we stay connected, how we grow closer. The silence that you've wrapped yourself in might feel like protection, but it is cutting off the very source of your strength, our connection. I have not gone anywhere. I never moved away. I've been here all along, standing by, ready to listen the moment you open up to me. You may think your silence is harmless, but when you stop talking to me, your spirit begins to suffocate under the weight of things not meant to be carried alone. I never demanded perfection from you. I never asked you to come to me with polished prayers. I only asked you to come. Speak again, even if it's just a whisper. Even if your words are unsure, messy, or raw. I do not need eloquence, I need honesty. I need you to be real with me. Because when you speak, even softly, you activate the relationship that changes everything. When you stay silent, the enemy fills that quiet with lies. But when you speak, you shut the door to darkness and reopen your heart to light. I am listening, child. I always have been. Will you speak now? You've learned how to wear a brave face in front of people, hiding everything that churns beneath the surface. They see your smile, your nods, your quiet strength, but I see more. I see the buried pain, the suppressed screams, the thoughts that never found their way to sound. You've trained yourself to keep everything locked inside because the world made you feel that your vulnerability is weakness. But I never asked you to be strong without me. I never told you to hide what breaks your heart. The tears that never fall from your eyes still echo in my spirit, for I hear the groaning of your soul even when no words come out. You've been trying to protect others by saying nothing. You think if you just hold it all in, no one will get hurt. But the truth is, child, your silence is hurting you. And I love you too much to watch you suffocate behind your own quietness. There are conversations we haven't had yet that you desperately need. There are things you haven't confessed, not because you're dishonest, but because you're afraid they'll make me see you differently. Let me assure you of this. There is nothing, absolutely nothing you could ever share with me that would make me love you less. In fact, the parts of you that you've hidden are the very parts I want to heal. Let go of this pressure to appear fine. You don't need to have it all together to come to me. Just come as you are, even if you come in pieces. Your unspoken agony still reaches me. I feel what you're afraid to say out loud. You're not invisible here. Not in my presence. Others may miss the signs. They may not notice the exhaustion behind your silence, but I do. I catch what no one else can. You don't need to cry out for me to respond. The silent storms inside you are loud enough for me to act. Still, I long for you to speak. Not because I can't hear otherwise, but because your voice brings your heart closer to mine. I want your words not for my understanding, I already know everything, but for your release. I want your honesty not for revelation, but for transformation. You're carrying too much alone, and I didn't create you for that. Tell me about the things you buried. Share the thoughts that haunt you at night. Open your mouth and give language to the emotions you've never felt safe enough to name. Let your voice break the chains silence has wrapped around you. Don't worry about how it sounds. Just let it be real. When you speak, something holy happens. You release the weight into my hands. I'm here, listening, responding, comforting, and restoring. No more hiding, my child. Speak, even if your voice trembles. Speak, even if you don't know how to begin. Speak to me now. Child, when you speak, I don't merely hear the sentences you form, I absorb the very essence of your heart behind every syllable. Long before a sound leaves your mouth, I have already received the intention that birthed it. I'm not drawn to the vocabulary or the structure of your prayer. I'm drawn to the sincerity, the tone of your soul, the quiet longing that trembles beneath what you say. You could utter a single word, and if it came from your depths, it would ring louder in heaven than 1,000 rehearsed speeches. You are not required to impress me. You are invited to reveal yourself. Your heart holds more language than your lips ever will. And that is what I lean in to hear. I have never needed you to explain yourself perfectly. I already understand. What I long for is the honesty of your feelings, even when they are tangled, even when they seem unworthy. I recognize the heartbeat of trust when you speak without a filter. I see the courage it takes to bring me your confusion, your frustration, your hunger for peace. You've been taught to perform, to present a version of yourself that feels acceptable. But when you're with me, none of that is necessary. You can be unedited. You can be vulnerable. You can let the walls fall down. Speak from the place you've kept closed for so long, and you'll discover that I never stopped listening, not for a second. I catch the silent sighs. I feel the tension in your chest. I recognize the hope you've been trying to suppress because you fear disappointment. But still, I want you to bring it all to me. The voice of your heart, though no one else may detect it, is louder in my ears than any noise this world can make. When others ignore what you feel, I cherish every beat of emotion that passes through your spirit. Talk to me from that secret place, from the place where the wounds lie, where the joys bloom, where your longing for something more whispers late at night. That is where I want to meet you, not on the surface, not through ritual, but in that sacred space where you are most real. Don't worry if you don't have all the right words. Just allow your heart to speak, and I will hear it in fullness. I'm not judging your grammar, I'm searching for your truth. If you're angry, say so. If you're tired, confess it. If you feel like you can't go on, let those words fall into my hands. And if all you can offer is the quiet groan of desperation, know that I interpret that groan as worship. You are never too broken to be heard. You are never too weary to be welcomed. Your heart has a language of its own, and I understand it with perfect clarity. So let it speak to me. Don't wait until you feel strong. Don't wait until you feel composed. Let it pour out as it is. Let it be messy. Let it be raw. Just let it be true. Because I'm listening not just to the sound, but to the spirit that speaks beneath it. And when you let your heart speak freely, I will answer not just with comfort, but with power, with healing, with a nearness that turns weeping into joy. I am here. I am ready. Let your heart talk to me now. There are wounds you've hidden so deeply, even you have stopped acknowledging them. You tucked them away in the corners of your soul, hoping time would erase the sting. But pain ignored is not pain healed. It stays there, quietly shaping your reactions, hardening your trust, whispering lies in your most silent moments. You've gotten used to functioning around your pain like it's a piece of furniture you can't move, but I'm not asking you to tolerate it anymore. I'm asking you to bring it to me. The ache you never told anyone about, the moment you felt abandoned and swallowed your tears, the betrayal you endured but never grieved, those hidden chapters matter to me. Not because I need information, but because I desire restoration. I do not want pieces of you. I want the entirety of your heart, including the parts you don't know how to talk about. Those moments you brushed off as too small to matter, the heartbreak you minimized because others had it worse, the emotional scars that still bleed when touched, these are what I'm asking you to place in my hands. Not to relive them, but to redeem them. I am not here to expose your weakness. I am here to rescue what was stolen from you. You don't have to explain everything perfectly. Just open the door and let the pain breathe in my presence. Because once you bring it to me, it begins to lose its power to define you. Pain kept in the dark grows heavier, but pain brought into my light begins to loosen its grip. You were never created to carry your burdens in silence. That is why your soul feels so exhausted. It is not meant to hold what only I can heal. I know it may feel frightening to revisit what you've buried, but I promise, I will not let you fall apart. I will hold you through it. You won't walk through it alone. You've been strong long enough. Let me be your strength now. I will not shame you for what still hurts. I will not rush your healing. I will sit with you in the pain until peace takes its place. There is nothing too deep, too dark, or too complicated for my touch. I am the one who enters locked rooms and brings life back to what was declared lifeless. So come, child. Don't wait until the pain becomes unbearable. Bring it now. Even if you're unsure how, even if all you can manage is to sit in my presence and let the tears fall. That is enough. That is prayer. That is surrender. And in that surrender, I will meet you with mercy that doesn't ask questions, grace that doesn't keep records, and healing that runs deeper than your suffering ever did. You are not alone with what you've been holding. I see the weight you carry in silence, and I am calling you to release it. Eliad servet and I verjam by vervrindim. The pain that you buried does not scare me. I already carried it on the cross, and I'm ready to lift it from your shoulders now. Don't hold it in another day. Don't wear the mask a moment longer. You've done that long enough. Speak to me about it now. Even if your voice is shaky, even if your words are few, I'm already leaning in. The moment you speak, healing begins. Shame is a cruel thief. It convinces you that if you speak, you'll lose love. That if you admit what's hidden, you'll be rejected. But I want you to understand this. Nothing you've done, nothing you thought, nothing you've been through has ever changed my love for you. I saw it all before you even experienced it, and still, I chose you. Still, I called you mine. Still, I went to the cross with your name written in my heart. There is no revelation you could bring to me that would cause me to walk away. I'm not shocked by your weaknesses. I'm not startled by your mistakes. I'm not looking for perfection, I'm looking for presence. And I want yours. Shame has taught you to be silent, to pretend, to hide, to stay away from my presence because you believe you're unworthy. But child, listen closely. Shame is not your shepherd, I am. And my voice never says, stay away. It always says, come closer. I see the guilt that weighs you down, the regret that haunts your quiet moments, the fear that if you opened your mouth, even I might turn my face away. But I never will. The lies that shame tells you are meant to isolate you. They build walls where I want to build bridges. They convince you that what you carry disqualifies you from being heard, from being healed. But I tore the veil so you could speak freely, even in your mess. I already know everything you've been trying to hide. And I'm not turning away, I'm drawing nearer. Because my love is not performance-based. It is promise-based. I promised I would never leave you, and I haven't. I promised that nothing could separate you from my love, and that includes the very things you're most afraid to confess. When you remain silent out of shame, you miss the very mercy that was designed to set you free. But when you speak, even if your voice carries the weight of failure, you step into the light where freedom lives. I'm not here to condemn you. I'm here to cleanse you, to restore what was lost, to remove the chains that silence and shame have wrapped around your voice. You suffered long enough thinking you had to fix everything before coming to me. But I am the one who does the fixing. Your role is to come. Come honestly. Come broken. Come afraid if you must, but just come. Let your voice rise above the shame. You are not a burden. You are not a disappointment. You are not disqualified from grace. You are the one I came for. You are the one I would choose again. So speak to me now. Speak like someone who believes they are still loved. Because you are. Speak like someone who believes they still matter. Because you do. Let me hear the truth you've been too afraid to say. Let me carry the heaviness you've been dragging behind a smile. I will be surprised. I'll be relieved. Because I've been waiting for this moment, not to punish you, but to embrace you. You don't need to hide anymore. Shame may have held your mouth shut, but love is here to open it again. Speak now, not because you've gotten everything right, but because I've never stopped being your savior. And I never will. My child, Never underestimate the beauty I find in your rawest moments. The world may celebrate polished words and eloquent expressions, but I delight in what is true, even if it's messy, incomplete, or spoken through trembling lips. When you come to me without pretense, when you whisper through the cracks of your soul, I hear something greater than poetry. I hear sincerity. And sincerity is what invites my presence in fullness. Don't wait to find the right words. Don't pause to rehearse what you think I want to hear. Come to me as you are, with the unfinished phrases, with the unsure thoughts, with the questions that interrupt your sentences. I do not need a speech. I long for connection. Every broken sentence you utter, every word that stumbles out of your weary heart, sings louder in heaven than the grandest declaration spoken without truth. When you speak from your vulnerability, I draw nearer, because that's when you're being real. That's when you're letting me into the places you usually protect. You may think your voice is weak, but when you choose honesty, even in weakness, your words become instruments of healing between us. They open the door for me to come in and dwell, to bring light where confusion once lived. You don't have to understand everything to speak with me. You don't need to have a plan. All I ask is that you stop pretending, stop waiting to feel worthy, and start opening your mouth with what is truly inside. Let the fragments fall out. I will gather them with care. Let the fears surface. I will listen without judgment. Let the hope you're afraid to name finally take shape in my presence. What the world overlooks, I treasure. I see you when you pray and your words trail off. I see you when all you can manage is help me. I see you when you start to speak and your voice breaks. And I rejoice, not in your strength, but in your trust. Because broken words require courage. And I honor courage more than performance. I never asked for perfection. I asked for proximity. So speak, even if your voice feels unworthy. Speak, even if the sentence doesn't feel beautiful. To me, it is sacred. It's not the growl or the rhythm, it's the heart that carries it. Every time you choose to speak instead of hide, something powerful happens in the spirit. Chains start to loosen. Fear begins to shrink. Light starts to fill the spaces where shadows used to rule. And I respond. I always do. You don't need a formula to move my heart. Your authenticity is the invitation I've been waiting for. You've tried to be strong, to keep your thoughts orderly, to hold your emotions in place. But I didn't design you for perfection, I designed you for relationship. And relationships are built on truth, not performance. So let me hear the unpolished, unfiltered, unedited version of you. Because that's the one I died to save. That's the one I love beyond measure. There is music in your brokenness when you offer it freely. There is power in your weakness when it's surrendered. So speak now, just as you are. Don't hold anything back. I will not turn away. I will not grow tired. I will not be disappointed. In fact, I've been longing for this sound, the sound of your soul daring to trust me with its truest voice. Speak now, and I will meet you in the beauty of your honesty. My precious one, I'm not searching for rehearsed words or religious language when you come to me. I'm not measuring your voice against scripture quotations or expecting your speech to sound like a sermon. What I want is your reality raw, unrehearsed, unmasked. Too often you've believed the lie that you need to sound spiritual in order to be heard by me. You felt that unless your words are laced with faith-filled declarations, I won't respond. But I'm not drawn to performance, I'm moved by honesty. You don't have to mimic others or borrow someone else's words just to come close to me. You are allowed to speak in your own voice, in your own rhythm, in your own way. I gave it to you for a reason. It's not your holiness that opens the heavens, it's your humility. I'm not keeping score of how you speak to me. I'm just overjoyed every time you choose to speak at all. Don't feel the pressure to sound composed or proper when you're falling apart inside. That kind of pretending only builds distance between us. What brings us closer is your willingness to lay down the act and just be who you are, exactly how you feel, without decoration. Speak to me like a child who trusts. Speak with the innocence of someone who knows they are safe, even in their confusion. I would rather have a single, trembling whisper from your heart than a flawless speech meant to impress. I already see behind every word anyway. There's no need to hide the frustration, the doubt, the messiness of your emotions. I welcome them. I invite them. I embrace them. Because when you bring me your truth, even if it's angry, even if it's unsure, you are offering me something precious, your vulnerability. And that is the place where healing begins. You do not earn my attention by sounding right. You draw me close by being real. Too many have been taught to approach me with fear, afraid of saying the wrong thing. But I am not watching to strike, I am watching to comfort. Your voice, no matter how it comes out, is valuable to me. If all you can say is that you don't know what to say, I still hear the need behind those words. That's enough. That's more than enough. Come as you are, not as you think you should be. Your brokenness doesn't disqualify you. It qualifies you for my presence. You were never meant to edit your voice before coming near. I don't require a spiritual script. I only desire your presence and your honesty. Let your voice shake. Let your thoughts be scattered. Let your emotions spill out. That is where I meet you, in the place where you stopped trying to perform and started choosing to connect. Speak from your fear, your anger, your longing, your desire. I can handle it all. In fact, I delight in receiving it. I am the safest place you'll ever speak into. No one understands your language like I do. No one interprets your silence the way I can. So don't wait until you feel more together. Speak now, in the exact state you are. Your reality is what I want most, not a rehearsed version of you, but the real you. The one you've been hiding, even from yourself. Let your words reflect your true heart, not what you think I want to hear. Because what I truly want is you. Just you. Exactly as you are. Speak to me like that, and watch how quickly I draw near. There is no pain too insignificant for me, no wound too hidden for my compassion to reach. You don't need to gather courage in large amounts before you speak to me. Just begin, even if the words quiver as they leave your mouth. You may feel like you need to be strong before you let me in, but I want access to the places that still ache, to the places where you've learned to smile while silently suffering. You've been walking around with invisible bruises that you've convinced yourself no one could possibly understand, and yet I've been aware of every single one. I was present when the injury happened. I felt it with you, and I haven't forgotten what you've tried to bury just to function. You don't have to dress your pain up with explanations. You don't need to justify why it hurts. Just tell me. Just let it out. Even if all you can say is, "It hurts," that's enough. That's where we begin. There is power in that confession, because it invites me into the deepest places of your heart, not just as a listener, but as a healer. You've talked yourself into silence for far too long, thinking that your hurt wasn't important enough, or that others have it worse. But pain doesn't compete. It just waits to be acknowledged. And I am here, waiting to hold what you've carried quietly for far too long. I don't need a perfect account of what happened. I don't need you to revisit the whole story unless you're ready. All I ask is that you open the door to honesty and let me step in. Speak to me as someone who knows they are safe. Speak as one who realizes they don't have to carry their wounds alone anymore. I will never tell you to just get over it. I will never minimize your experience or ask you to ignore what's still raw. My response to your vulnerability is always kindness. My reaction to your confession is always mercy. Don't be afraid of what might come out. Don't hesitate because the pain is messy. I don't expect a polished explanation, I only desire a willing heart. You may feel like you've spoken it all before and nothing changed, but I assure you, each time you speak to me, something breaks open in the spiritual realm. Each word you release is a brick removed from the wall between your soul and peace. Let your voice rise, even in weakness. Let it rise because that sound is sacred to me. When you finally let it out, you take the first step toward letting it go. Your healing begins the moment you stop pretending that you're okay and start confessing what's still bleeding. I will meet you in that moment not with judgment, but with warmth, with understanding deeper than any human could ever offer. You are not too much for me. Your hurt is not a burden to me. I want to hear it because I love you, not in theory but in truth. I love you enough to sit with you in your pain and walk with you through every memory, every disappointment, every wound that still stings. So don't hold back. If the words come in whispers, let them whisper. If they come in sobs, let them fall. However they come, bring them to me. Your honesty is not weakness, it is worship. Speak to me now. I'm already leaning in. Child, I saw the moment it happened, the moment someone you trusted left you empty. The betrayal. The abandonment. The harsh words that cut deeper than anyone ever knew. You may have smiled afterward, pretending it didn't matter. You may have convinced the world you moved on. But I know better. I see the hollow spaces that moment carved into you. And I see how you've been trying to live around those wounds ever since. But I don't want you to keep pushing those memories into silence. I want you to name them, not to relive the pain, but so I can wrap you in the love you never received when you needed it most. I want you to speak about the people who hurt you, not to stir up anger, but to release what you were never meant to carry alone. I want to hold the little pieces of your heart that were broken by someone else's actions or absence. Maybe they were family. Maybe they were friends. Maybe they were leaders. Whoever they were, they failed you in ways you still haven't fully said out loud. But I saw it. I was there when you stood confused, asking yourself what you did wrong. I was there when you cried quietly, hiding your tears so no one would see. And I've been waiting, longing for you to stop carrying it in silence and let me into that moment. You've carried their failure like it defines your worth. You've questioned your value because of how they treated you. But hear me clearly now. Their failure has no power to determine who you are in my eyes. You were never the problem. Their actions were not a reflection of your value, they were a reflection of their brokenness. And now, I want to take that weight off your soul. But to do that, you must speak. Tell me who hurt you. Whisper their names if you must. Bring their betrayal to me. I am not asking you to relive the pain to punish you. I am asking you to bring it to the surface so I can apply healing where it has long been denied. You've tried to forgive, but the silence has made it difficult. Because you never really told me how much it hurt. You were afraid that if you admitted how deeply they cut you, it would make you weak. But the opposite is true. Speaking the truth is an act of courage. It is the beginning of freedom. You're not dishonoring me by talking about what they did. You're honoring your healing by acknowledging it. Let me hold you in the places where they let you fall. Let me restore the trust that was shattered. Let me remind you that you never deserved that pain, and you never will. I will never speak to you the way they did. I will never turn my back on you. I will never love you conditionally. I will never walk away when you need me most. My arms are wide open not just for the parts of you that smile, but for the parts of you that still flinch at certain memories. I want you to feel what it's like to be embraced instead of erased. You are not too damaged for me. You are not too broken to be made whole. And those moments they failed you, those are the very places I want to touch first. So speak to me. Tell me where it hurts and who left the wound. I am not here to judge or shame you. I am here to heal you with the gentleness you were always meant to know. This is the moment where your healing begins, not in hiding but in revealing. Speak now, child. I am here to listen, and I will never leave you in the middle of your pain. My child, I see what keeps you up at night, the thoughts that race through your mind, the worries that press against your chest. You've become so used to surviving that you've forgotten how to dream freely. You speak to me when the fear overwhelms you, and I am always there for that. But I want more than just your concerns, I want your aspirations too. I want to hear about what excites your heart, the things you secretly wish could happen but have stopped believing in. I want you to talk to me about your hopes, not just your hurts. You've come to me crying over what's broken, Now come to me with what you desire to build. I don't just want to calm your storms, I want to walk with you into the sunrise of your calling. Those dreams you pushed aside, telling yourself they are unrealistic or unimportant, matter deeply to me. I placed some of them in your heart before you were born. You may have forgotten them under the weight of disappointment, but I haven't. And I am still able to breathe life into them again. Let's not only speak of what scares you, let's speak of what stirs you. The things you once envisioned when your heart was younger, purer, before life made you cynical, let's revisit them together. I am not intimidated by your big ideas. I am not too busy for your imagination. I rejoice when your eyes light up with possibility. I celebrate when you dare to believe in something beyond survival. Even if it feels far-fetched to you, tell me. Even if you don't know where to begin, begin with me. Tell me what you would do if fear didn't hold you back. Speak about the vision buried beneath layers of doubt. Uncover that longing you've tucked away behind the obligations of daily life. There is no desire too small, no ambition too large for my interest. What matters to you matters to me, not because I need it, but because I love you. Because I love hearing what brings you joy, not just what causes your tears. I want our conversations to be filled not only with pleas for peace, but with the poetry of your deepest desires. I'm not just your refuge in the storm, I'm your champion in the sunlight too. You were made for more than just enduring hardship. You were made to dream, to create, to soar. And I want to help you do that. But it starts by opening your mouth and daring to say what's been burning inside your heart. Trust me with your ambitions. Share with me the visions you stopped talking about because others didn't understand. I do understand. I know every detail. And I'm not here to dismiss them, I'm here to awaken them. Let me walk you through every part of your dream step by step, thought by thought. I want to be involved in it all. Not just the healing, but the building. Not just the fear, but the fire. You've given me your anxiety, now give me your imagination. Let's dream together. And even if it never turns out exactly how you thought, I promise the journey with me will be worth every step. So tell me. Speak to me of the life you still long for, even if it scares you to hope again. Your dreams matter. Your voice matters. Speak now, and let's begin again together. Amen.